In Norse mythology, Níðhöggr is a dragon who gnaws at a root of the world tree, Yggdrasil. In historical Viking society, Níð was a term for a social stigma implying the loss of honor and the status of a villain. Thus, its name might refer to its role as a horrific monster or in its action of chewing the corpses of the inhabitants of Náströnd, those guilty of murder, rape, and oath-breaking, which Norse society considered among the worst possible crimes. Orthography. In the standardized Old Norse orthography, the name is spelled Níðhöggr, but the letter O is frequently replaced with the modern Icelandic O for reasons of familiarity or technical expediency. The name can be represented in English texts with I for 1, th, d or dh for th, o for o, and optionally without r as in modern Scandinavian reflexes. The modern Icelandic form Níðhöggr is also sometimes seen, with special characters of similarly anglicized. The Danish forms Níðhöggr and Níðhöggr can also be encountered. Prose Edda. According to the beginning part of Snorri Sturluson's Prose Edda, Níðhöggr is a being which gnaws one of the three roots of Yggdrasil. It is sometimes believed that the roots are trapping the beast from the world. This root is placed over Nilheim and Níðhöggr gnaws it from beneath. The same source also says that he squirrel called Ratatosk runs up and down the length of the ash, bearing envious words between the eagle and Níðhöggr. In the Skaldskaparmál section of the Prose Edda, Snorri specifies Níðhöggr as a serpent in a list of names of such creatures. These are names for serpents: dragon, Fanir, Jormungand, Adder, Níðhöggr, snake, viper, Goan, Moin, Gravitnir, Grabig, Ofnir, Svafnir, masked one. Snorri's knowledge of Níðhöggr seems to come from two of the Eddic poems, Grimnismal and Völuspá. Later in Skaldskaparmál, Snorri includes Níðhöggr in a list of various terms and names for swords. Poetic Edda. The poem Grimnismal identifies a number of beings which live in Yggdrasil. The tree suffers great hardship from all the creatures which live on it. The poem identifies Níðhöggr as tearing at the tree from beneath and also mentions Ratatosk as carrying messages between Níðhöggr and the eagle who lives at the top of the tree. Snorri Sturluson often quotes Grimnismal and clearly used it as his source for this information. The poem Völuspá mentions Níðhöggr twice. The first instance is in its description of Náströnd. Níðhöggr is also mentioned at the end of Völuspá, where he is identified as a dragon and a serpent. The context and meaning of the stanza are disputed. The most prevalent opinion is that the arrival of Níðhöggr heralds Ragnarök and thus that the poem ends on a tone of ominous warning. Níðhöggr is not mentioned elsewhere in any ancient source. Modern culture. Fate of the Norns features Níðhöggr as a major villain in the overarching metaplot. He is the existential threat to both giants and gods and as a result has been imprisoned in Heiðargelmir during Ragnarök. Níðhöggr is featured as a god power-based myth unit available to Hell in the 2002 game Age of Mythology. Níðhöggr also plays a role in the 2014 indie fencing game Níðhöggr. Níðhöggr is the Minmator race's carrier in the MMORPG EVE Online. It is notable for its drone fighter damage and velocity bonuses. Níðhöggr is a major antagonist in the 2015 Final Fantasy XIV expansion pack Heavensward. Níðhöggr is the subject of the song On a Sea of Blood for the album Viking by Swedish melodic death metal band Amon Amarth. Níðhöggr is mentioned in the series by Michael Scott, The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel, in Book 2, The Magician, and briefly in Book 3, The Sorceress. Although not in the game, Níðhöggr is shown as a comparison for Alduin, the main antagonist of the Elder Scrolls v. Skyrim, in the sense both feed on the dead and the symbols of destruction. In Alduin's case he feeds on the souls of the dead in Sovned, the afterlife of the natives of Skyrim, as prophesied to bring the end of the world. gaining the title World Eater, which could be a reference to Níðhöggr's gnawing at the roots of Yggdrasil. Níðhöggr is a recurring demon in the Atlas series Megami Tensei and appears in Persona 4 and Persona 3 as a creatable persona. Níðhöggr is a collectible monster card in Madhead game Tower of Saviors under the name Níðhöggr, Undying Dragon of Poison. It is first introduced into the game as a boss to the FITFH seal. To defeat Níðhöggr, player must perform an overheal. Any extra points of healing beyond player's HP will damage Níðhöggr. Níðhöggr can only be obtained by defeating him in the last battle of an Ultimate Nightmare stage, the Nora of Yggdrasil, which only opens during certain limited time. Upon encountering Níðhöggr, the screen will shake for a brief time, depicting Níðhöggr's roar. After Madhead introduced power release mechanism, Níðhöggr can be power released into a stronger version named Níðhöggr the Corpse of Ragnarok. In both versions, when placed as leader, Níðhöggr will empower any dragon's HP and attack within player's team, but at the cost of 10% player's HP deducted each turn. Níðhöggr is depicted as Earth Dragon. Níðhöggr is also featured in second Madhead game Chronos Gate, albeit under name Níðhöggr. It can be evolved into a stronger version named Níðhöggr the Malicious Beast. Player can obtain Níðhöggr in any form by performing a timestone summoning ritual. Níðhöggr is depicted as Wind Dragon. In the MMORPG World of Warcraft is a reference to Níðhöggr that was added in the last expansion to the game World of Warcraft Legion. Níðhöggr is being portrayed as giant dragon named Níðhöggr. He is a world boss on the newly added Broken Isle zones and is located in Stormheim. Players are able to kill Níðhöggr for loot. Bibliography: Asgeir Blöndal Magnusson, Íslenskor Reykjavik, author Bókaskálan's, Bellows, Henry Adams. The Poetic Edda, New York, the American Scandinavian Foundation. Available online in www.Veluspa. Broder, Arthur Gilchrist. The Prose Edda by Snorri Sturluson. New York, the American Scandinavian Foundation. Available at Google Books. Dronke, Ursula. The Poetic Edda, Volume 2, Mythological Poems. Oxford, Clarendon Press. In particular p. 18 and pp. 124-25. Eystein Bjornsson. Snorra Edda, Formula and Amp. Gifferginning. Texter Fjorgara Megan Handrita. 2005. Available online. Eystein Bjornsson. Veluspa. Available online. Fawkes, Anthony. Edda. Everyman. ISBN 0460876163. Finnur Johnson. Gothafrithi North Manor Augustlendinga efter Heimildum. Reykjavik. Hithailenska Bokmentafelag. Finnur Johnson. Lexicon Poeticum. Copenhagen. S.L. Mollers Bogtriakari. Lindo, John. Handbook of Norse Mythology. Santa Barbara. ABC Clio. ISBN 1-57607-2177. Thorpe, Benjamin. Ad Seemandar Hins Frother. The Edda of Seemand the Learned. London, Trobner and Amp Co. Available online in the Norröna Society edition at Google Books.